Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in this beautiful country, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content that I'm going to show you is an update to something we covered about 2 weeks ago. CNN has been on a tirade, basically pointing out the really uncomfortable red flag for Kamala Harris and the lefties, and the gun controllers, to be quite honest. This update is going to blow your mind because remember, last time we talked about this from Harry Inton, the polling guy at CNN, he said that if these numbers, the slim margins of pollings were off by that much, it will be a landslide. Yeah, wait until I show you what I'm about to show you. It's going to blow your mind. I promise you that. And of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, because one thing's for dang sure, guys, you don't want this guy interrupting your prescription for freedom. That's the YouTube algorithm monster prowling around like a lion, looking to consume your subscription notifications. So make sure you aren't caught unawares and he has taken away your subscription so you can't get this goodness to be fully prepared as you go forward in this election to save our country and push our gun rights to the next generation. So make sure he doesn't win. You are still subscribed. And while I bring this up, guys, get him out of here. Make sure you are ready to vote, please. You have such an opportunity to make your voice heard in a way that could be epic. And USCCA Action Fund has put together an option just so you can make sure you are vote ready. There's a link in the description box below. Check out this video which shows you what it's about. Votewithbraden.com. Then let's get it. We are heading into the most crucial election of our lifetimes, and millions of the people who share our values aren't even registered to vote. Think about that. My name is Braden Langley with Langley Outdoors on YouTube, and I'm partnering with the USCCA Action Fund to make sure that we do everything that we can to put the right people in the right place at the right time to pass our blessings on to the next generation. I am challenging each one of you to stand up for our God-given rights. If only half of us on this channel activate, that is 275,000 people that are active, passing on our rights and taking that civic duty to do so. Imagine how powerful that could be, and all you have to do is go to votewithbraden.com. So here's what you need to do. Go to votewithbraden.com. This is the one-stop shop. All you have to do is go there. You can get your registration up to date or check to make sure you are registered. You can get your polling location. You can even get a ballot if you desire. It has never been simpler, and it takes less than 60 seconds. Again, votewithbraden.com. All right, let's get into this because I have got to show you this update, and I'm going to interrupt this as it goes forward, but this is something that has been updated from about 2 to 3 weeks ago, where Harry Inton said, wait a minute, something's wrong. Well, now he's screaming something's wrong again. The numbers have changed, and I'll point them out to you. By the way, this is in no way made to seem like you don't need to vote. You have to vote. I'm only bringing you information on the ground that is non-biased and propaganda, so make sure that you vote. Your family votes, your friends vote, everyone votes. You're ready to rock? Let's get it.
So much the state poll averages miss by, all right? The average error since 1972 in the close races in those battleground states we're looking at, 3.4 points. 3.4 points. Every single state, all 7 of those key battleground states are within 3.4 points. What's the chance for an even larger error? You know, we talk about the margin of error, right? So what is that 95% confidence interval? What is that true margin of error? 5% of errors in state polling averages are off by more than 9.4 points. These battleground states are well within that. I want you to remember this number because the bottom line is this race is going to be too close to call almost certainly all the way till Election Day. It's definitely going to be within this interval, and it's most likely going to be within this interval. So the bottom line is the state polling averages tell us what it tells us is it's just a race that is too close to call. Maybe one candidate has a slight advantage over the other one, but the bottom line is it is way too close to call, and it will remain so.
All right. Understand what he just said. And guys, you have to know the state of play on this. And this is why I'm doing this video. This stuff is so crucial for our gun rights, for our freedoms, First Amendment, everything. He just said that a large percentage, 95%, are 3.4 points off of the polling. You know which candidate in this race always overperforms his polling? Trumpy Trump. And do you know the margin of error is within all of those 3.4? And in the extreme cases, they're off by 9.4. So the window of these polls being off is between 3.4% and 9.5%. Do you understand that in this realm, they're basically telling you the polling does not matter? Do you fully grasp what CNN is saying? Because Harris's whole claim to fame is that she's winning in the polls by 1%. First of all, she's not telling you the quiet part out loud that says the 1% is a guaranteed loss for the Democrats because they need at least 6 or 7 from the Electoral College, which Tim Walz just said he's going to get rid of. Don't worry, I'm covering that later. You have to understand what he's saying here. The average error is 3.4% to 9.4%. And Trump is always underestimated. Let's keep going. You have an opportunity for an epic delivery. Please don't miss your chance to vote and take part in this. Let's keep going.
Superimpose all of this really important information that you just gave us on the electoral map.
Yeah, okay. So let's say the polls are exactly right. If the polls are exactly right, Kamala Harris gets 276 electoral votes to Donald Trump's 262.
Okay, I'm going to stop that really quickly. I'm sorry to do it prematurely. You have to understand, in our original video that we did like this, it was Harris had 286. So now, from the polling numbers and showing the trend, now Harris has 276. If the polls are correct, he's about to do hypotheticals. You have to understand, it has gone down 10 points in less than a month on a downward trend. Harris only has to have 270, so does Trump. That's the magic number. 270 votes. Trump is within 8, Harris is within 6 of losing it. You have to understand that that is based off of polling, which he just said is always wrong. Guys, I'm going to continue.
Because she carries those Great Lake battleground states, despite losing North Carolina, Georgia, and Arizona. But let's say we have a polling miss like we had in 2020. What happens then? Well, then Donald Trump wins the election in a blowout with 312 electoral votes because he carries all these Great Lake battleground states, plus Nevada, plus the other states he was leading in, Arizona, North Carolina, and Georgia. But
okay, hold on a second. But he's going to do the Harris one in a second. This is what I'm trying to land this plane, and please let me that I do with you guys. If the polling does what it did in 2020, Trump wins 312 electoral votes. Do you understand that that is not only taking the Senate, that is taking the House, that is sending the left into 2 years of having no control? A complete red sweep, a complete red electoral victory from the House to the Senate to the White House. All 3 chambers. If 312 happens and these polls are wrong, like they were in 2020, and they always underestimate Trump, which they always have whenever he's on the ballot, you're talking about a full red sweep of all 3 chambers, or all 3 levers of power. I'm not telling you it's going to happen. You have to vote, your family has to vote, your friends have to vote. I am by no means saying you don't vote. What I'm saying is vote like you're 5 points behind. I'm trying to point out the idea that Harry Enton is putting the window between 3.4 and 9.5% of the polls always being wrong, and Trump is always underestimating the polls. And if you look at it like it was in 2020, he's got 312 votes, which I'm pretty sure is greater than Obama's victory. Oh, the opportunity you have to induce the 5 stages of grief on the left is high. Let's continue.
2020 is just one election. What happens if we have a polling miss like 2022? Well, in that particular case, now the winner has flipped again. And Kamala Harris wins in a blowout with 319 electoral votes because she retakes those Great Lake battleground states, carries North Carolina, Georgia, and Arizona. So the bottom line here is, yes, we have those state polling averages, but the real thing they tell us is that this race is too close to call. We're probably not going to know who's going to win for another month and perhaps another month of change.
It's the Full Employment Act for senior data reporters.
You know what? I will.
Whatever. You have to understand what they're saying. And which of those is more likely, you think? Do you think it's more likely that Trump is going to pull the states that he's already winning in? Or do you think it's going to be one of those cases where, yeah, Trump lost every single one, the polls were overestimating him, and Harris won by 318 because she took every single swing state? Guys, you have an opportunity here, and I'm trying my best to illustrate it to you. Vote like you're 5 points behind. Make the best case scenario, you make them cry from the oh my God, from every orifice they've got. Then the worst case scenario is you squeak by a win. You have to get out and vote. And that's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.